Welcome to Toffee TV. Everton have made a signing. Allan has arrived all the way from Napoli to hopefully get a grip of that Everton midfield. Well, make it an Everton midfield, making it midfield.
Make it a midfield.
Make a midfield.
Would be a start.
Would be a start. This is the one Carlo Ancelotti wanted. There's been rumours for months and months that this is the player he wanted, and he's now got him. Important first step, I think, to improving this Everton side.
Yeah, the links have been there constantly, haven't they, since January, when the transfer window opened, probably just before when Carlo come in, actually. Once he talked about wanting more energy and dynamism in that midfield, those links intensified, and I've gone on and on for the remainder. He's obviously fell out of favour a little bit at Napoli with Gattuso. You don't know how much that played into it, of Ancelotti's interest or whatever, but it's the one key area for me that needed addressing, needed a lot of work doing to it, and he's a good first step, I guess.
Yeah, I think for Carlo Ancelotti, getting the player in that he really wanted, that he had identified as being the player. Listen, we know we missed out on Højbjerg, and we don't know how that would have all worked, how it would have, whether both players would have wanted to come in, or whether it was one or the other. But Højbjerg went to Spurs. That was always his aim, to go to Spurs. But I think for Carlo, Allan's a player he knows, and listen, I know there's been reservations about his age, but I think you just have to put that to a side. And I know that can be difficult because people look at the Fabian Delph situation, I suppose, but this is a player who was playing quite consistently. He scored in Serie A not so long ago. There obviously was something went on with Gattuso, or Gattuso might not fancy them, and Carlo Ancelotti will know exactly what he wants from this player and how he'll fit into this Everton team, and I think that's important. I think if you start with the midfield, you start with the player in midfield, and not build a team around them, but him be the main man in it, the cornerstone to how your team plays. I think that's got to be the way to move forward, hasn't it? Because obviously the midfield, it's the pivot, it's the thing that factors into everything. Your defence will play a certain way depending on your midfield. Your forwards will play a certain way. So if you get the first one and it's the one you want, and then you think hopefully other players, maybe like Andre Gomez or whoever, can get more out of them because of that player, then I think for me that's massively important.
Yeah, you've got to have someone you trust, haven't you? He's come in, he's not really... I know Jarrad Branthwaite ended up playing games and he come in January, but in general, he's had the squad. He had the squad he inherited for the 6 months or 7 months, as it turned out, didn't he? And obviously, Ancelotti's work with the player, he knows exactly what he brings. He's very good for Udinese, very good for Napoli, and obviously we're all hoping he's going to be very good for Everton. And he's a bit of a tempo setter in terms of he'll go and engage, he'll get stuck in. His playing style reminds me a little bit of Peter Reid, to be honest, that kind of person. He's not lightning, obviously, smaller than other midfielders, but he likes to tackle and likes to engage it, and he likes to play the ball forward, which is something Everton need.
Let's just have a little look at his numbers, so you can talk me through those numbers.
Well, yeah, this is what, obviously, me and Andy had done a thing on centre midfield plays, and Allan was one of them, and these are his numbers per 90. So in the middle third, he engages in, wins 1.7 tackles a game in there, which is a decent number. Pressing in the middle third, 15.4 presses in that middle third. So someone who will go and hunt the ball. If you watch Everton's midfield at times this season, too happy to sit off teams and allow them to play through. No one really goes and engages the ball. He's someone who does that 15 times a game. Obviously, Andy done the possession adjusted per 90. That alters with how good the team is, obviously how much possession you have, but 5.9, 4 interceptions there, just under 6, which isn't bad. Progressive passes, passes that go more than 10 yards or more, 7.5 a game, and progressive runs per 91.23, which is above any of Everton midfield anyway, carrying the ball forward and running into the other half. I've got other numbers in front of me. Defensive duels, 10 per game, wins more than half of his tackles, which is around about what you'd expect as well from midfield players. Lots of final thirds, forward pass ratio, 58, 82% with his completion and stuff. So he's very someone who is on the front foot at times and will play those vertical passes that Carlo Ancelotti was talking about. Because too often, I think, everyone who watches Everton can see it. It's too side to side and slow. This is someone who likes to get the ball forward.
It looks to me like I'm very much an all-round midfielder, combative, but also, like you said, they're playing on the front foot. Somebody wants to go both ways. And I think, listen, we know how much of a loss Garner's been to us. And that's what he was, wasn't he? Garner was that kind of player. Garner was someone who, I think at times it was funny because when we had him, I don't think we really knew how much we relied on him at times. We wanted that little bit more out of him. But I think as a footballer, and looking at his own team, he knew how important his job was not to do more than he needed to do. Because if he started doing everything, because I always thought with Garner he could do more going forward, and I genuinely think that if someone put him in a midfield and said to him, do that job, I think he could do it.
You see with PSG, he does try to break forward a bit more and get involved.
And I think with PSG though, he doesn't have to do that job.
There's others,
But I think for me, when he, the way he played, he was like having two midfielders, and it helps all the other players out. And I don't know whether, we sort of seen it, didn't we, that he made other players look better. Let's be honest, 100%. He made other players look better. But you know what? That's what the best players do. So to get someone in that kind of similar vein, because let's be honest, we've got nobody at the club. We said this watching all the games towards the end of the season, the lockdown games. Every player in our midfield, all four of them, exactly the same kind of player. The wide men want to come inside. The central players just want to sit in a comfy area and try and pass the ball. No one wants to go forward. No one wants to attack. But also the tackling is awful as well. None of them are winning tackles.
Well, he's the third most tackles in the midfield, third per 90 in Serie A. He's third in pressures in midfield per 90 in Serie A for pressing the ball. So again, his numbers, when you look at his numbers as well as when you watch with his eyes, shows he's very active defensively, which is something that our midfield haven't been, certainly in lockdown. After lockdown we haven't. He's got an impact in the final third, which again, something. Everton's midfield, if you look at it, tends to just stay in the middle of the field, and that's it. And what we need is someone to be active in both thirds, in defensive positions and in attacking positions, and that's what he does. Reads the game well, picks up a lot of interceptions, he's comfortable in possession, and he has got that range of passing, which is short or long. He can thread a ball through, he can split defences. The one thing you would, or the air of caution about him, quite clearly, is that he's never played in the Premier League. 29 years of age, so he's not getting any quicker. And they're the ones you look at. He's not 6'3" and all of that, but he is like a little bit of a tiger. He will go round and engage, and he likes a battle. He's strong for his size. And of course, it's a little bit of a gamble because at 29, like I said, he's not getting any quicker. But then Carlo Ancelotti knows him. This fella knows how Ancelotti works. He's played in a 4-4-2 for years, which I think is very important.
And I think, listen, I'm sitting here and I'm not going to go overboard about this signing. No. I think it's an important signing. I'm hoping that it gets more out of Andre Gomez.
Yeah, very much so.
And then if the day comes, if that day ever comes, that day we all want to see Jean-Philippe Gbamin kicking a ball
on the pitch,
on the football pitch, and he's all right. Then, again, you've got a player in there who's, with someone like Gbamin, is that energetic, box-to-box player we brought to replace Garner. And then you've got someone else in there who's a bit of a tiger, who's a good passer as well. And who's to say those two don't work together? Then you've got Gomez in the mix as well.
It allows you to play a 3 then as well, because you've got 2 lads who can look after the other stuff and allow Gomez to get on the ball. You'd have Gbaman who will go box to box for you, and he's defensively disciplined enough to sit in for you at times when he joins the other way. It allows Gomez to get on the ball. What we need, you said it before and it's absolutely right, everybody's got the same profile. Gomez is the best of what we've got because the most comfortable in possession. Tom Davies is all over the place consistency-wise. Delph. Sigurdson's not good enough anymore. So we do need different profile of players in there. And this fella, the biggest thing is that he's Ancelotti's man. And it's the starting point for him, isn't it? You get him in. I'm sure Everton are looking at another midfielder as well to try and bring in. And if we could bring him, we've got him, if we can bring another one in as well, and then you do get the Gbaman back as well, then all of a sudden you've got a totally different midfield.
But going back to the Gbaman though, what it does with Gbaman though, it gives him time to get fit.
Yeah, it gives his time
I think the last time when he got injured, we were all thinking, yeah, we can get him back, have a little bit of football in the lockdown period, and he'll be back for next season. And listen, that's just us as fans. I don't know whether he got that excitement as well, and maybe he should have done whether he's done more than that he should have. We don't know that. It's a freak injury at the end of the day. But hopefully now, and Carlo's already said, he's going to get the rest he needs. And if you've brought a midfielder in and he does click with one of the other midfielders, Gomez being the one, then that allows the kid a little bit more time. So it's the one I think Carlo Ancelotti wanted, and that to me is at times is the only way you can move forward. I know we've got a director of football, and we're all sort of we're still always a little bit like, well, who bought the player? But I'm sure they've sat down together and gone through the options, know what they need. And he doesn't fit into the parameters of what Brands wants. He isn't under 27. He hasn't got a sell on value. Sometimes you've got to just put those things to the side. It's funny you mentioned Peter Eden, and that was a completely different era. That was a 26-year-old, 27-year-old fella with very dodgy knees who everyone had told to stay away from. And I know it's a completely different era of football, but sometimes you need what you need, and you need someone who can go in right now and do what the manager wants. So we'll see what happens. We've addressed the situation, and we'll move on now to the next one.
Well, that's what it is. We've got the work is there to be done this summer, and it's about putting players in who can go into the team. It's not about filling the squad. It's about bringing people in who can go into that team and improve it. And we've done that. He needs to remould the team. We know that post-lockdown showed us the midfield needed remoulding. And he's gone and got the one he wanted. And now can we follow it up with some other good signings? So it's a good signing, and hopefully it'll work out for us.
Yeah, hopefully it will. There you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on Allan. Are you excited to see him in an Everton shirt? Is there someone else you would have liked to have seen come in? Is there someone after Allan you'd like to see come in? Does his age worry you? Does anything worry you? Or are you quite happy with this signing for Everton moving forward? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget, give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want more great videos, live daily videos, join us over on Patreon. Loads of podcasts on there as well if you like your podcasts. Check that out. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching. See you later.